The movie begins in the year 2000 with an American military scientist instructing his Korean assistant to dispose of approximately 200 bottles of toxic chemicals into the drain, disregarding the potential consequences for the local river. Over the years, strange occurrences are noticed in the river. Two fishermen discover a mutated-looking fish and attempt to touch it, prompting the creature to react aggressively and escape. In 2006, near a bridge, a businessman contemplating suicide witnesses a dark, large entity moving underwater before leaping. At a snack stall by the river, Gang-do, asleep inside, is awakened by his father. Meanwhile, a homeless boy named Seo tries to steal food but is stopped by his brother, Nam-ju. Gang-do's daughter, Yuno, returns from school upset because Gang-do sent her uncle to a parent-teacher meeting instead of going himself. She avoids her father's calls due to embarrassment over her old phone with poor reception. Gang-do and Yuno hurry into the stall where Gang-do reveals money saved to buy Yuno a new phone. They watch TV news reporting a body found in the Han River but switch channels to see Nam-ju competing in an archery tournament. Their viewing is interrupted by Haibong, who sends Gang-do out with free snacks for unhappy customers. Gang-do discovers a crowd observing a strange creature hanging from the bridge. The creature, a monster, suddenly moves and dives into the water. Curious, Gang-do throws a beer can, which the monster grabs and eats with its tentacle. Excited, the crowd throws food, but the creature vanishes, reappearing to chase and attack the crowd, killing several. People hide in a container, but the monster follows, trapping them until Gang-do and others open an exit for survivors. The monster continues its rampage, injuring Donald and others. Gang-do and Donald unsuccessfully attempt to harm the creature with a signpost. As chaos ensues, Gang-do loses Yuno's hand but grabs the wrong teenager in the confusion. He realizes this too late as the creature captures Yuno and disappears into the river with her. Gang-do jumps after them but watches helplessly as the creature spits out a human and takes Yuno away. Police and military surround the area, forcing Gang-do and Haibong to evacuate the stall with the money box. A funeral is held for the victims, attended by Nam-ju with her bronze medal and Nam-il, the educated but unemployed activist sibling. The family breaks down, attracting media attention. Nam-il reveals Gang-do's mistaken grab, sparking a confrontation halted by authorities. At that moment, a group of men in hazmat suits enter as a mysterious smoke begins to fill the room. An agent informs everyone about buses waiting outside and asks if anyone had contact with the creature. Gang-do mentions getting blood on his face, prompting the hazmat team to isolate him in a special bag and take him away. Meanwhile, news coverage finally starts on the incident. Donald, a former U.S. Army surgeon who lost an arm, is treated at a military hospital where medics discover strange reactions in body parts that touch the creature, attributing it to an unknown virus. The U.S. Army sends samples to the CDC, confirming the river's future as the virus host. Only special forces trained in biological warfare can approach the river, where fumigation units work to clean the area. All those present during the incident and the funeral are quarantined and tested at a hospital. In the evening, Gang-do receives a call from Yuno asking for help from the sewers before the communication abruptly ends. Nearby, fumigation agents spot something by the river before the monster emerges, knocking down an agent and landing on their truck. Later, in the sewers, Hyun-seo emerges from hiding to find the agent dead, futilely searching his pockets for a working phone. Back at the hospital, Gang-do's family tries to convince a skeptical cop that Yuno is alive. Despite Gang-do's attempts to show evidence on his phone, the cop dismisses him as delusional. The family sneaks out of the hospital, blending among other patients in the corridor, but are recognized by a nurse due to Gang-do's dyed hair. They evade capture, change into their clothes in an elevator, and are picked up by a van driver arranged by Haibong, narrowly rescuing Nam-ju, who was left behind briefly. Outside town, at a warehouse, it's revealed Haibong hired criminals to aid their escape and acquire supplies to find Yuno. However, payment becomes an issue, leading to the criminals taking Haibong's credit cards instead of jewelry. The family watches themselves declared fugitives on the news and departs in a fumigation truck provided by the criminals, equipped with hazmat suits, weapons, and a sewer map. At a security checkpoint, they bribe the manager with a bag containing the box of coins, gaining access to the river area. Following the map into the sewers, they search desperately for Yuno. Gang-do runs behind the truck to be fumigated, hoping to cleanse himself for his daughter. After hours of searching, they mistake Seo and Sejin for threats but find it's just a water leak. Seo and Sejin join them, and they head to their family snack stall, stocking up on food. Gang-do wakes to see the monster outside. Haibong fires, enraging it to attack the stall until they force it to retreat. The family pursues the monster, encountering soldiers, leading to a shootout where Haibong sacrifices himself. Authorities arrive and Gang-do considers surrender. News reports Donald's death from the virus as protests against using toxic chemicals escalate. Namel meets an activist friend Fat Guevara to track Yuno's location, uncovering a trap set by Guevara's associates. Namel finds Yuno's location but escapes amid chaos. Namju continues searching for Yuno at Wana Bridge, where she is attacked by the monster but manages to text Gangdu before falling into a narrow sewer. Gangdu's optimism is shattered as medical staff sedate him. However, an hour passes and Gangdu remains conscious, prompting doctors to proceed with taking a sample. He screams in pain, catching the attention of an American doctor who intervenes. Gangdu, aided by a bilingual medic, explains his daughter's situation, but the American doctor dismisses it as virus-induced dementia, pushing for a brain sample. The Korean doctor objects, prompting the American to reveal the truth. Donald died from shock during the operation, and tests showed no virus in the quarantined individuals. Gangdu demands an explanation but is taken to surgery, where they take a brain sample. In the sewers, Hyun-seo uses clothing from bodies to fashion a rope but loses it out of reach. The monster returns, forcing them to hide as it feeds. After surgery, Gangdu feigns numbness to steal a needle as a weapon, using a doctor as a shield to escape to a container where soldiers lunch. He commandeers an ambulance. Elsewhere, Namel awakens, saved by a stranger. They head to Wana Bridge, making Molotov bombs with beer bottles. Meanwhile, protests gather against Agent Yellow, set for Wana Bridge. Hyun-seo nearly escapes the monster but is caught, and Gangdu finds bones in the sewers, fearing the worst. As Hyun-seo and Seo evade the monster, a crowd protests Agent Yellow until its release. The monster becomes sick, prompting another cop to shoot it, but Gangdu intervenes. He reaches into its mouth and pulls out a human hand, freeing the deceased children. The drone continues releasing Agent Yellow, sickening people, including cops, while masked agents record. The siblings gather around Yuno, mourning before Gangdu attacks the monster with a sign pole, drawing blood before being pushed back. Namel throws Molotov bombs, forcing the monster under the bridge where it's doused in gasoline. Despite a mishap, Namju ignites an arrow, setting the monster ablaze. Gangdu finishes it with the sign pole. Gangdu checks on Seo, discovering he's alive and rescues him from the toxic area. Weeks later, Gangdu rehabilitates, running the snack stall and caring for Seo. During dinner, U.S. authorities admit on TV there was no virus, but they turn it off to eat in peace. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications